For as long as we can remember, data privacy has basically meant one thing. You lock it down. But what if that's the completely wrong way to think about it? What if real privacy isn't about building walls, but about opening a door to a whole new wave of innovation? Let's jump in. It's this classic problem, right? We've all been there, whether it's with our own personal health data or a company's super sensitive internal info. And it always feels like this impossible choice. Either you lock it away where it's safe but totally useless, or you share it to get some value out of it and just hope for the best because you've pretty much lost control. So think about it like this. On one hand, you've got the vault. Sure, your data is secure, but it's also silent, it's not doing anything, it can't be used for amazing research or smart analytics or collaboration. All those opportunities are just gone. Then, on the other hand, you have the platform. Now your data is useful, it's helping power AI, it's finding new insights, but you've basically handed over the keys. You've surrendered ownership and it's exposed. Okay, but what if that's a false choice? What if we don't have to pick one or the other? Well, there's a new way of thinking that says exactly that. It's called sovereignty without silence, and it's designed to fix this massive conflict that's right at the heart of our digital lives. It really boils down to this incredibly powerful idea: share without surrender. Just think about that for a second. Imagine being able to add your data to important projects to help solve some of the world's biggest problems without ever giving up control. That's the goal here. And this is where things get really interesting, because it completely flips the script on how we think about data. This line from the source material just nails it. We're shifting from seeing private data as this static thing in a vault that needs to be guarded to seeing it for what it can be: a dynamic, powerful engine that can actually drive progress. Okay, so the big idea sounds great in theory, but how does this actually work in the real world? How is it even possible? Let's get into the mechanics of the system that makes it all happen: the Kadata framework. It's all built on what you could call three pillars of trust. First, a totally new way of handling encryption that keeps your data private, but crucially, lets others know it exists. Second, a clever system for checking the quality of that data without anyone ever having to look at it. And third, an economic model that actually pays people to be honest and contribute good data. Let's break those down. So pillar number one, controlled encryption. And this is the magic right here. Your actual raw, sensitive data, it never leaves your site. It stays on your server, encrypted, but a description of it, the metadata, gets registered on a public ledger. It's kind of like a library's card catalog. You can see the title of a book and a summary so you know it exists, but you still need the key to actually open the cover and read it. All right, so that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If nobody can actually see the data, how in the world do you know if it's any good? That brings us to pillar two, collaborative verification. This is where special validators come into the picture. They can't see your data, but they can look at the public metadata and use some clever cryptography to confirm that, yep, the data inside that encrypted file is exactly what you say it is. It creates this trust fabric around data that no one has ever seen. And the final piece of the puzzle, the thing that makes this whole thing tick, is aligned incentives. This isn't just based on people being nice. It's a real economy. When you contribute data, you have to put up a financial stake, some skin in the game, to vouch for its quality. When your data is verified and used, you get rewarded. But if it's bad data, you lose that stake. It's a simple, powerful way to make sure everyone is motivated to play fair. Okay, that's the tech. It's cool, it's clever, but so what? What does this mean in the real world? How does this actually change anything? Let's look at a few examples that really bring this to life. Let's start with something huge: medical research. Picture this. Hospitals all over the globe want to work together to cure a rare disease. With this, they can all share encrypted patient data. Researchers can then run analyses on that huge combined data set to find patterns and breakthroughs, all without a single person ever seeing anyone's private genetic code. It's a game changer. Progress and privacy, together. Or hey, let's switch gears to the industrial world. Think about manufacturing. A factory could share its encrypted sensor data. A company that makes the machines in that factory could then analyze performance data from thousands of machines all over the world to make their products better, all while that one factory's secret sauce operational data stays completely locked down and private. Everybody wins. And this one is a biggie: finance. Imagine banks trying to stop fraud. They could each contribute encrypted summaries of their transaction data to a shared pool.
The system could then spot large-scale criminal patterns that cross between banks, patterns no single bank could see on its own, all without any sensitive customer information ever being exposed. That's collective security on a whole new level.
So, as you can see from these examples, we're not just talking about a clever new piece of software here. This is a fundamental change in how we think about data, about working together, and about what privacy even means. It really is a new paradigm.
This really sums up the whole shift in thinking. The old way, it was always a trade-off. You could have security, or you could have utility. Privacy was seen as a barrier, something that slowed down progress. But in this new model, that's all gone. You get security and utility. And privacy? Privacy stops being a barrier and becomes the catalyst.
I mean, just let that sink in for a moment. Privacy as a catalyst for innovation. By creating a way for people and organizations to share data safely while keeping total control, we actually unlock more opportunities for discovery and collaboration than we ever could before. It completely turns the old way of thinking on its head. So, I'll leave you with this one final thought. We've touched on curing diseases, building better products, and creating a safer financial system. But what else is out there? What other incredible breakthroughs could we finally achieve if the one thing we always thought was holding us back, our privacy, actually became the key that unlocks the future?